Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. I'm Tom Delicati here with John White and Brady King. We are your underinformed American buddies talking about F1, wrapping up with our final race review episode of the season. It's good to be back at home. I was supposed to be in Nashville again this week, but I tell you, everything sounds a little bit better here at home. These headphones feel better. Your voices sound better to me. Things are going well for me. Yes, my internet works.
I did notice that you did not have a hotel backdrop on your camera. Forgot to ask you about that. So glad you're home.
It's pretty great. So Sunday night, I was supposed to fly out. My flight was supposed to leave at 8:44 p.m. And at 12:15 a.m., when they taxied us back to the gate and got everybody off the plane, they're like, maintenance issue. We might leave tonight. We might not. You can go get rebooked. And I said, peace out. I'm going to sleep in my bed.
Holy moly.
Not a great night.
Woof.
Well, that's why you should always fly on your own private jet, and you don't have to worry about that, Tom.
Thanks for the tip.
Or catch a ride with Max.
Yeah, we have our own jet on this side, Tom. We didn't tell you that we got sponsored.
Thank you. Well, we had the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this weekend. Final race of the season, 24 races, and we crowned a new champion. We'll get to that. Also, we've got word that an important player in the Formula One landscape is leaving their team at the end of this year. We'll chat about that. But before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other. It's our 15-second race reviews.
One more time.
For the final time in 2025. I feel like I said 2024 a few minutes ago.
Did you?
We'll find out when we get back on the tape.
I'm on really low sleep. We typically do these in reverse championship order, but since we don't need to, I guess we can have the big reveal now. So, in first place, can I cue up a drum roll? I guess I can't. In first place, picking our top 5, bottom 5, and 3-pointers with 158 points. Ladies and gentlemen, John White.
Thank you.
What a surprise.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, hey.
Aww.
John, what week did you take over first place? How many weeks in a row were you in first?
Ooh, it was quite a bit. Tom dethroned me for, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 races.
It was definitely the entire second half of the year.
Yeah. I had a good run.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my 3-pointers and the bottom 5 for screwing us all.
That bottom 5.
The bottom 5 this year was tough.
Golly.
Brutal.
It sure was.
And in third place with 139 points.
Yeah.
The doctor.
I can't believe my picks last week didn't hit.
You were so close.
I was just millimeters away.
I did receive a few text messages about your picks, Brady, and everyone appreciated the bit.
Yeah, it was a great bit.
It was a commitment.
Great bit. It was a good 3-pointer, too. It didn't hit, but it was a good 3-pointer. Okay, so Brady,
that means I'm going first, right?
You're going to go first with your 15-second race review.
Okay. The year is 3025. Coral reefs are facing global extinction. However, marine biologists have discovered a thriving coral reef in Yas Bay. Upon closer inspection, divers have discovered the iconic Ferrari red beneath the coral. After thousands of years, Hamilton's missing SF-25 has finally been found. Lewis actually pushed it into the bay after all. When divers were asked if the SF-25 would be brought back to Maranello, the diver said no, the car is doing a lot more at the bottom of the bay than it ever did on the road.
Oh, poor Lewis.
It was good. It was good.
Did you happen to hear as they were, as they're finishing, the warm down lap and everybody's talking to their engineers and maybe a team principal hops on and Lewis gives this very heartfelt message of, guys, listen, really appreciate everyone's hard work and efforts this season. It was fantastic working with you, blah, 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 blah. And then it's just silent.
Static, yeah.
And
we
no
do it
one
here, right?
says a word. And he was like, you guys can hear what I'm saying. And then his engineer gets on and laughs. and goes, ha, 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 yeah, we heard you. Sorry, we were talking in the background.
Yeah. It
And
was
you're
like he, it's like he gives this heartfelt message. Everyone's like, well, big gulps, huh? See you later.
It was very awkward.
Oh man, and to be broadcast too. That's brutal. Yeah. All right, I'm next. Max Verstappen finishes his 2025 campaign winning 6 out of the final 9 races. All it took was firing Spice Boy Christian Horner to get the Red Bull back to being competitive. Abu Dhabi had plenty of excitement on the racetrack, but we didn't get to see any of it on the broadcast. I pressed my red button to see more, and it just kept cutting to scenes of Toto Wolff and Fred Vasseur analyzing Lewis Hamilton's career choices.
Spice Boy. All season long. And you finally put that gem on us.
You're welcome.
We were holding on to it for a while, apparently.
I like it.
Oh, gosh. All right, John. For the final time in 25, I get to say, all right, John.
Nothing like the close of the 2025 season to give you a little sports cry. Lando really did deserve the win, and I couldn't be happier. But for my last race review, grab your Abu Dhabi Dew, and I'll leave you with this. Don't be too disappointed. I'm definitely not disappointed. I'm really proud of everyone. We never gave up. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Honda for all these years together and all these amazing successes we've had. This is Verstappen's final message. Nobody liked it? Okay.
Tom, look on your face.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, John, can you remind me something?
If I can remember.
Who won the title?
Lando did by 2 points.
All right. Got it.
I congratulated him. I said he deserved it.
No,
but
obviously, Max
even in deserving it,
yeah,
I think Max's season will
all
go
due
down.
respect.
All due respect.
Said all due respect.
Look it up. It's in the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
I think Max's season will go down as like one of the greatest seasons in F1 history for someone having not won the title.
Yeah, it's really hard to, like, somehow he felt like he did so much more and yet didn't win the title, right? I know that happens in a lot of sports, but maybe it's just the recency bias, right? Like you said, he won 6 of the last 9 or whatever, but it almost feels like he deserves a title, and yet, I mean, the points say otherwise. So it's hard to take away what he did this year. It was really impressive, especially, considering that he said, what was it, all of 3 months ago, we won't win a race again. And then he goes off and wins 6.
Well, and for the record, I don't think he deserves to win. Lando deserved to win.
Sure,
that's why he won.
That's fair. Yeah.
I just, I'm a Max fan, so if there's an opportunity for our, maybe our final episode of the season, I'd like to throw a little prop.
Last time with that car, I mean, that car won a lot of races, right? So
yeah,
I think that regardless of what would have happened in Abu Dhabi, regardless of who walked out of there with the championship trophy, they were a deserving champion. Any one of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
I would have said very deserving for them to win the championship.
I'm with you. Which we haven't seen that before, have we? Like where there's that many people that
not since we've been watching.
Win? Yeah, not since we've watched it, but it has happened. There was a year, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago where there were 4 drivers who were eligible in the final race. But my overall thoughts, first and foremost, let me get this out of the way. Zach Brown's radio message of the world champion hotline made me want to vomit. It was so cringy. But anyways, moving on from that.
It was a bad move.
My overall thoughts are that I love that Lando didn't win the title through any quote unquote team orders to favor him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that any of these 3 main contenders got any quote unquote free points all season long to where like they would just change positions with someone to get more points. None of them did that the entire year, except like maybe during a race, mid-race, like Max, is let by, Yuki lets him by because what the hell are they fighting for? But nobody else was letting anyone by all season to score any additional points. So I like that it was truly like a won championship, not a manufactured victory. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think some people would disagree that they thought Lando got some points from from Oscar in a couple situations, like the one where
the pit stop issue,
the pit stop in particular. But I don't know. I just don't know how to reconcile. Like somehow it feels more important as the race has obviously gone. I mean, and that wasn't
planned though. Like they didn't plan to give him points in that situation.
Sure.
So you're saying there was no favoritism.
There wasn't like set out from
like, hey, we're fighting for a driver's championship here. He's our number one. We got to prioritize getting him points.
Okay, I get what you're
saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And
which happens.
I think you're right.
In basically every other team, right?
Right.
Yes.
And it should, though. That's kind of part of the reason of having a team. So, I mean, I think everybody had kind of talked about it during the race too, but I was doing that mental math, right? Like if he ends up in fourth and Max is in first, does Oscar go back? And the answer is, well, he better. Otherwise, what's the point of having a teammate? Like,
yes,
it just
I completely agree with you. If Oscar had no chance to win.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, are people going to be like, well, that taints the championship? Well, then how many championships are we going to go back and be like, well, the teammate helped him? I mean, even Max, the first time he won back in 2021, without Checo holding up Lewis and without a safety car at the end of that race, it doesn't happen. You can point to 1,000 reasons why a championship is going to win or happens. And any one of those points could just be your teammate helped you out. And so, yeah, it's a team sport. It's not an individual sport.
Yeah, I agree. I will offer you this trivia. Is that okay?
I love trivia.
Let's go.
This trivia is that Lando Norris is the first world drivers champion with 3 0 points finishes in a season since 2014 when Lewis Hamilton did it. So 3 times, it has been 12 seasons now since the world champion has failed to score points or DNF'd 3 times. So Lando had 2 DNFs and a DSQ. So when he finished a race, he never finished outside of the top 10, but he had 2 races where he DNF'd and one where he was disqualified. So I thought that was interesting that just the reliability of the cars. It's almost like you have to go back so far into the power unit era where it's like, okay, it was probably reliability issues that was causing those DNFs back in the day or the pointsless finishes. Because, go ahead.
Can I do a little side note here? I tried to find some stats and do like how many engine failures over whatever number of years. I wanted to see because it felt like this year was a lot more reliable than even just the past couple of years, which were way more reliable than say like, the 80s and the 90s. But finding stats about F1 is just hard. There's just not a ton of stats out there. So like you look this stuff up, you might find a couple here and there for certain years, or you might find it, somebody put together a list that only went through like, 2019 or something. Like really hard to find stats.
It's not like baseball where you can go find whatever you want at any given time. Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I shouldn't even say that it's not available. Like all the information is available. We're just lazy.
That's sure.
I'm not going to put in that much work to get you this information. I mean, I care about you guys, but I don't care that much to explain something to you with data.
If I can't find it in a minute, it ain't happening.
Last season, Tom had some sort of magic website he could go to and find pretty much any information he wanted
or he would
never share with us, or he would lie, and we couldn't find the answers anyway, and we were just going to take it.
Exactly. Who's going to hold me to this?
Not me. I can tell you that right now.
Exactly. Because we're all lazy. Nobody's going to go look it up and hold me to it. It's great.
It's weird. Max won 47 races this year and didn't win the championship.
It's
crazy.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
First time it's ever happened.
So can I get into some brass tacks here about the race itself, especially with the championship and Lando Norris especially? So Oscar gets him early, and no big fight from Norris. Do you think he should have fought more for P2, or do you think he was just tense and nervous because Oscar had nothing to lose and he had everything to lose?
John's going to ponder. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to say he did the smart thing. I don't think he was nervous. I think he knew I need to finish third. I don't need to fight with those guys. Let them go duke it out. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Kind of just relying on the fact that I know I'm faster than Ferrari and Mercedes.
Yeah. Just don't bend the car. Don't let somebody hit me. Don't do something stupid. Just stay out of the way.
The only reason I don't like it, and John, you can chime in here in just a second. The only reason I don't like the fact that he just complacently took third place was because then he had 57 laps ahead of him where he wasn't going to go chase down P2. He wasn't going to go chase down P1. You're in the position you have to be in. This is the lowest you can possibly be to win the championship, and you're there with 57 laps to go. That's just tight butthole the entire time. And it would, I don't know. I didn't like that piece of it. John, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I would just say that he's done what he's done every race.
Give up positions on lap 1.
I mean, has he not?
That's what. Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have the fastest start time. He's not super aggressive in turn 1. Why would he do anything different now than he's done for the past 23 races? Like, that's what Lando does, so that's what Lando do.
Yeah.
And it worked, but to your point with the whole tight butthole comment, it did make for a much more exciting race.
It was tense viewing.
It was tense because then now it's strategy and pit stop. Is it 1 or 2? How long can we go? Some people are going 40 laps on a single tire and some people are going 9, right? And so what's going to happen?
Yeah. And that's another reason why I didn't like him sitting in P3 right away, was because now he is at the mercy of what other people behind him are doing to conserve and save P3. Whereas if he was in P2 and he had that space in front of Oscar and Oscar wasn't really chasing him down, all of a sudden his race looks completely different just in that one position. But the early pit stop that put him into the traffic that he had to clear, and they're like, well, we had to do it to cover off Leclerc. That's the position you don't want to be in, because now you have to react to the Leclerc pit stop and you have to pit back into all this traffic that you have to then pass on track. I thought it was stupid.
They made the wrong decision on that early pit stop.
I think they made the wrong decision on both. But go ahead, talk about the early pit stop.
Well, I'm just saying it ended up working out in the end. Obviously, we see the results. But knowing how long Oscar went on the same tire, he should have just stayed out longer. There was no reason for him to pit early during that
Oscar
window.
was on the hard to start the race, and Lando was on the medium.
He was
so
on
they
a
weren't
medium.
on the same tire on the
Okay.
first stint.
Then that makes more sense.
He went into the pit, quote unquote, early on the second stint. But see, I'll actually take the other side. I actually agreed with him taking that pit stop because he had a free pit stop to Leclerc with a little bit of breathing room. And what I would have been worried about was if we don't take the pit stop and Leclerc is able to close the gap, which we don't know if he can or can't, but if he does, we can't fight him back because our tires are going to be shot at that point. So we take the free pit stop and we bank on the fact that our car is just better than his. And
you're talking about the first pit stop?
The second pit stop.
Okay, I want to talk. I want to talk about the second pit stop in a minute. The first pit stop where he is in traffic, and they react to Leclerc pitting on the first pit stop. That's the one that I was still questioning. It was lap 17 when Lando came in. It's the traffic that he needed to clear. Like you're talking about, don't risk third place. You just pit him back into traffic around Lance Stroll and Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
And you're like down in like 14th.
Nobody hit each other, okay? Please. Nobody hit each other. And they didn't. And that's great.
I'll take devil's advocate there too, that he knew that he was still ahead of the people that he had to be ahead of, right? Like he wasn't racing any of those guys. So as long as Leclerc was behind him, he just had to do his job. So at some point, there's always going to be risk. There's no way that you're going to run that race in clean air unless you're Max and you get out in front. And honestly, all these drivers are like that. Anybody that you put out in the front, they're going to get a drive by themselves. But if you're not in the front, you're going to have to deal with this at some point. You just have to do your job. And I mean, lo and behold, he did. I mean, they basically asked him, this is what you got to do. And he did it.
You can't argue with the results, and I'm not arguing with the results. I'm just looking at how the sausage got made, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah. Oh, it was very butthole clenching.
So,
yes.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back because I want to talk about that last series of pit stops, and then we'll wrap up the rest from Abu Dhabi.
Okay. Introducing Hope, the new premium canned cocktail from Cadillac. Yes, Cadillac, the same company joining Formula One next year. We thought, why stop at race cars? Why not bottle our feelings? Hope is a blend of bold gin and spirited tequila. It's an unexpected pairing. Do those go together? We hope so. Hope is crafted from only the finest ingredients: gasoline, carbon fiber, and just a hint of Valtteri Bottas's machismo. Is it Hope that gave him the confidence to pose nude for a calendar? Probably. With a single sip, you'll be feeling confidence like Checo Perez. But like the Checo from 2023, not the qualifying Checo, the race Checo. Yeah, that's the one. Legal disclaimer, Cadillac is not responsible for anything you do while high on hope. Side effects may include randomly calling people mate and Lance Stroll level driving. Please consume responsibly. Hope. Because when Cadillac enters F1, hope is all we got.
Oh, gosh. Well done.
I'll have to switch my Abu Dhabi Dew out for some hope and, just mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I like that.
Tequila and gin. Does it go well together? We hope so.
You throw about 4 more ingredients in there, you get yourself a Long Island iced tea. And, now you really got a party started.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Back to the strategy and Lando winning the title, the last pit stop.
Mhm.
Let me walk you guys through this, okay?
Okay.
I was livid when this happened in real time, but let me walk you through the scenario. Leclerc pits on lap 40.
Mhm.
So he had pit on lap 16?
Yeah, because it was right in front of Lando on 17.
16 and goes to lap 40. So that's only 24 laps on the hard tire. Norris at that moment is in P3. He's 6.8 seconds behind Verstappen, who is only a second and a half behind Piastri. Remember, Verstappen is kind of reeling him in at this point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar's still out there on lap 40 from his first stint. He started the race on those hard tires, and it's still lap 40. Oscar's still out there. Oscar comes in on lap 41.
Mhm.
Okay. So Norris is in P3, net P2, right? Because Piastri has to pit. And he's 6.8 seconds behind Verstappen. He's not reeling him in. But when Leclerc exits the pit, he is 29 seconds behind Lando Norris, with Russell in between him.
Mhm.
And when Piastri pits, Piastri would then be between Russell and Norris.
Mhm.
So Leclerc is now 3 positions away from Norris with 30 seconds to make up over the final 17, 18 laps. Why would you risk something going wrong in the pit stop and bring Lando in? I had such a problem with this when this happened in real time. I thought, you've got 30 seconds and 18 laps to go. Just ride it out to the end. You're not going to lose 2 seconds per lap. You're just not. Oscar just did 41 laps on hard tires. Lando, we're asking you to do 40, 41. This should not be a problem. McLarens don't eat their tires. You've got clean air. There's 7 seconds between you and Verstappen's going to drive away. You will get clean air. I don't get the risk of coming back into the pits and doing it all over again. I'll shut up. But I was livid.
Were they both on a set of new hards?
Lando
and Oscar. So Oscar started
Oscar
on hards.
started the race on new hards and went 41 laps. Lando was on a new set of hard tires, and he was
both new hards,
3 laps into his stint.
Yeah. I remember watching that thinking the same thing. I think earlier I might have gotten the first pit stop and the second pit stop confused because I knew one of them I had a major issue with, and I think it was that one.
The first pit stop was just traffic. That's all I had an issue with. Was the reaction to Leclerc. I get it, why that happened. But the second pit stop, I don't have any hair left. But if I did, I would have been pulling it all out. Like, what the hell are we doing here? And it just seemed like, and I'm saying this from a standpoint of, I'm not a strategist. I don't know how long the tires will last. I'm saying this from an armchair expert perspective, but also someone who can analyze quickly risk reward and return on investment. I didn't see it. I couldn't value the pit stop enough to say it was worth it. Maybe
I'll take the other side.
Yeah, tell me your thoughts.
I mean, I don't think there's a huge argument in either direction because I think you could have stayed out because in fact Max sort of proved that you can stay out and he was losing some time. But on the other side, I understand where they're coming from a safety standpoint. What they're thinking is we're weighing basically, will we screw up in the pits versus having some sort of flexibility by having newer tires on the car. And they figured we've been faster than him all race, Leclerc. We're faster than Leclerc all race. all we have to do is execute a pit stop and we're out on fresher tires. He shouldn't be able to catch up to us, but if he does, we'll at least be on fresh tires and we should be able to fight him. So from their analysis, they're basically just saying, we would rather take the free pit stop and know that we have free tires and there's an equal footing, meaning the same set of tires. There's no way Leclerc should beat us. But on the flip side, if they hadn't had done that and somehow Leclerc was catching up, they would not have had an option at that point. You would have been on old tires and now you're fighting for a championship. So I can understand why in their head, they basically just see, all we have to do is just not bottle, like don't screw up in the pits horribly, because they had more than a pit stop, right? They had, I think it was, like you said, 29 seconds or something like that, I believe. So, and it's 21 seconds there. So you've got another 7-8 seconds to work with here. So basically just do not completely, utterly screw this pit stop up and you should be fine.
I wonder in their analysis, because I'm sure that they run this, what was the likelihood of a safety car? And if they thought, since they had the time to do the pit stop, they would still come out ahead. If there is a safety car, everyone else needs tires. They're going to pop in and we're going to artificially gain positions anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't like it either, but
my initial gut reaction was the same as you, Tom. I was like,
I would
what are we
never
doing?
have given up a 30-second lead.
I was with you. But the more I looked at it, the more I understood it. I don't. Again,
I'm not saying I don't understand it. I
Yeah.
definitely understand it. I completely disagree with it. Just to my core, like I have a 30-second lead. My tires are not worn and fading. I need to go another 18 laps. Should a safety car come out, we're all going in again anyways. And I've got still that, 30-second cushion that might have been, chipping away. It's like, I would never give up a 30-second lead for a 5-second lead on equal tires. I would keep a 30-second lead because these cars just don't eat tires. They're very reliable and they don't eat tires. This is very simple to me. It shouldn't have been that complicated. Now, again, can't argue with the results. They got a driver's championship out of the deal. Happy for them. Happy for Lando, but it made it unnecessarily tense for them and whoever's a fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't think you can argue with the results. I do think it's very valid to question them, especially based on the strategy mishap that we saw right before Abu Dhabi. And we were all sitting here in the last episode going, what the heck was McLaren thinking? They've never been in the position before. They most likely didn't know how to analyze it or take it into consideration, and it cost them positions. So I think where you're coming from is completely valid. Just because you won doesn't mean that you could have won in a better position.
Yeah.
Are you saying you can get more first than first?
I think if Lando doesn't pit, and I know this is all hypothetical, but I think if Lando doesn't pit on lap 40, he finishes P2 in that race because you had Russell and Piastri between him and Leclerc. So even if Leclerc was catching him, you've got Piastri on new tires playing good defense. That's my point. Your teammate just pit to behind you, and yes, he's quote unquote reeling you in, but he's also there to play defense if Leclerc was catching up. Slam dunk. But I'm an idiot. I'm not a strategy guy.
You know who wasn't playing good defense? Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki. Holy moly.
Before we go to that, can I say the answer for this might be for Lando that both answers were equally fine. Like it was hard for you to screw it up in either direction.
Yeah. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
You're right. We shouldn't be so argumentative about this. I apologize to you.
I like it though. All right, so on to Yuki, huh?
Yeah, final thoughts from Abu Dhabi. Let's cover Yuki, let's cover Mercedes, let's cover maybe a little bit of Ferrari and touch on Helmut Marko and call it a day.
Yuki.
I mean,
Yuki.
I think Yuki's
Did we already cover it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
done.
That's it right there.
He was asked to give a little defense. He said he knew what he had to do and then just moved over.
Oh my gosh.
And said, y'all don't have me racing here next season anyway, so...
I mean, on the other side, though, he did swerve an awful lot, and it looked like, I mean, if there was ever a time where Lando might have wrecked the car, that would have been it right there.
Yeah, that was the scary moment for championship Lando.
I did laugh when they told him that he had 5 seconds, and he's like, "For
Penalty,
what?"
bro?
And you're like,
He drops the
for
bro
the
on him.
part-
He said, "Bro, yeah, bro,
Bro,
what do you
for
mean,
what?
bro?"
And I wanted him to be like, for the part where you drove like an idiot. What did you think was gonna happen there? Oh my god!
Yuki,
It was the bro
guy.
that got me.
Yeah, it
That
really
was-
did.
That was great. I'm gonna miss him. I mean, we're still gonna see him, but we're gonna
Yeah.
see him about as much as we saw Valtteri Bottas this year. So
It's kind of sad that Red Bull doesn't do like what Valtteri always standing next to Toto. I would really wish to see Yuki standing next to Lauren all the time or something. But then again, he's so short.
yeah, you wouldn't see him on camera.
Yeah,
just
he'd
see
have
the
to be
top
in
of his-
front, not behind.
top of his
or
hair.
give him a little stool. But the
He's wearing-
stool's like too high, so
he's
his
got,
feet are
like-
just swinging at the bottom.
Do you
like a
remember when they made
5-year-old.
the stenographer with the little backpack on the portable stenographer? He's got the little backpack and he's wearing Yuki.
Oh my gosh, I don't want him to be around Lauren Meckies. I want him to follow Helmut Marko around.
Well, not anymore. Helmet's gone.
Yeah, well, he'll be a lifelong ambassador for the Red Bull brand, I'm sure. So Helmut Stalin Marko is leaving the team at the end of this year, and I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of feel like good riddance. That's my initial reaction. I was never a big fan of the guy, but I understand he has done a lot for the team and a lot for the sport.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well put.
Yeah, in general,
I don't know.
I'm not sad to see him go. Somebody else will take that spot, you know.
Yeah. Do you
Same.
think this was kind of a mutual parting of the ways, or do you think he's just done, or they're done with him?
I think
Both.
they might be done with him more than he's done with them.
Yeah, if I had
And
to
we
pick
see
one, I
that
would agree
because
with you,
of-
John.
I think it's because of the changes that we've seen this year, primarily in letting Horner go, that Red Bull's starting to take the reins a little bit more of their team and get a little bit more control. And people that are bad apples, which I would put Horner and Marco both as bad apples, you can't keep them around any longer than you have to.
It did really seem like the team was suffering, you know, morale-wise and performance-wise. Maybe performance because of the morale until Horner left, and then things seem to come back around. So maybe we'll see another boost just because he's going. I mean, maybe that's too critical of him, but again, he did it to himself a little bit. It's not like he's that wonderful of a person, so it's not making me sad to see him go.
I don't know that he's a bad person. He just hasn't changed his worldview since 1951.
Yeah, bad's not the right way to
That's-
describe
yeah,
that. You're
that's a good
right.
way to
Yeah.
to call it. Were you surprised at all this weekend in Abu Dhabi about how terrible Mercedes was?
I don't know where that came from, right? They've looked pretty good the last few weeks. I know the cars kind of go up and down, especially them and Ferrari. They're up and down on here and there. But yeah, Mercedes didn't really seem to just show up. Maybe they just had the wrong setup. Maybe it's as easy as that. But
I mean, George still qualified in fourth and finished, right
Yeah.
around there. But
he was never really threatening, right?
exactly. He was
Yeah.
so far off the pace, and so
Yep.
was Kimi. I thought, Kimi has been riding a little bit of a hot streak lately, just from good result standpoint. And gosh, he had just a terrible race.
Yeah.
So
I
I was
don't know that
surprised
there
that
was a-
Mercedes. Go ahead.
I don't know that there was a ton of incentive for them to do exceptionally well. When you look at constructors and driver standings, there wasn't a lot of movement for both of them. You kind of knew
So you're
that,
saying
like,
they just kind of
maybe
phoned it
between
in?
them and Red Bull, it was pretty close, but Red Bull hadn't qualified well for Abu Dhabi anyway, so they weren't going to be much of a threat. George was pretty much going to finish where he was finishing for the year, and Kimi's a rookie, so it's more about experience than it is placement at this point in time. So there's like, why push any harder than you really have to? Just go out there and run a decent race and start next year.
Tough for me to tell. I don't know where to put my finger on this one. John, you might just be right that they're mentally spent and didn't get the setup right, and all the things kind of collide together to just make it so it's just kind of a meh weekend for them. Meh for George. Kimi worse, right?
Yeah, I mean, George's result wasn't bad. It
Yeah.
was just
meh.
it was just pretty slow.
Yeah.
He didn't have anyone threatening him from behind, which would have been better if Fernando Alonso could have put a little more pressure on him. But
Mhm.
I mean, good on Alonso for finishing where he did in sixth.
How many times do you think George has said that in his life? That he didn't have
Which
anybody
part?
threaten him from behind?
Oh, Hey-o.
Sir, this is a family show.
Well, I'm just saying because he's normally fighting for a position.
Fair.
So like,
Fair.
people are always
Well,
on his tail.
Mercedes was pretty good sized doo-doo this weekend. But I was surprised with how strong Ferrari looked.
So speaking of my little
In the race.
my 15-second race
Okay.
review of Hamilton dunking his car into the bay. If he's going to go out on that car, I guess go out on a race like that. I mean, when he pitted, I believe the second time, I can't remember what lap that was, but it was relatively early in a second stint, and they brought him all the way down to 19th. I was just like, oh, we're just phoning it in, right? We're done. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, geez, he realistically could put it in sixth here if he really tries, And I mean, he didn't get all the way up there, but man, he fought all the way back. I mean, that's a hell of a drive for a car that's awful. But again, it's kind of like Mercedes, right? Like there's some weeks where Ferrari just showed up, and maybe if
But
he
it
could have
hadn't been
qualified
since
better-
basically Austin was the last time that they showed up for a
It's
weekend.
been a while,
Yeah.
but they got something out of it this week. And Leclerc looked strong all week. I don't think he was really realistically going to beat Lando, but like he was at least there. He was making us nervous.
Yeah, I think there might have been a little bit of a chip on Lewis's shoulder to try, you want to close the season out on a high note, to your point, and do as good as you possibly can. I think it fell on deaf ears because whatever's going on with him and Ferrari doesn't seem like it's amicable. So
the Ferrari surprise to me was, and I have some data, if that's
Trivola.
okay. It's not really Trivola. It's just supporting facts.
Okay.
In the final 4 races of the season, in constructors' points scoring, McLaren scored 120 points over 4 races, with 2 disqualifications in there,
okay,
and two sprints. But
Okay.
Mercedes scored 114. Red Bull scored 105.
So Max scored 105.
Yes.
pretty much. Yeah.
What is your guess to the number of points Ferrari scored in the final 4 races of the season?
I mean, it's been so bad.
Including Abu Dhabi.
Including Abu Dhabi and the
Mm,
sprints.
I would say it's got to be
McLaren
under
120.
30.
Yeah.
Mercedes 114.
Mhm.
RB 105. Red Bull, sorry.
I would say
I'm going to go with
33.
60. Yeah.
Pretty diverse range there, guys.
It's because we're so good at our job.
42.
Well, hey, we split the middle, huh? That's awful.
42 points over 2 sprint weekends and 4 Grand Prix.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good.
Now, I mean, they're comfortably going, they were always going to comfortably finish 4th because, Williams is not threatening them. But gosh, that's just, I hate to see it.
I need to go back and look at what was Hamilton's finishing spots in the last 4 races. I mean, and there's a lot of stinkers in there.
I don't think he was in the points in the last 4 races except
Right.
for this race, which was
exactly.
8th. Outside of that, he was like, at one point, I think he finished like 16th. And then I know didn't they have a DNF in there floating around in the last 4 races as well? I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody
We don't pay
could even
attention because
know
they're so
that.
bad. But I mean, when you
Yeah.
say McLaren had, 2 DNFs in there, I mean, when you're fighting for points like this and you're trying to, be a champion, 0 is the same as not finishing. I mean, and when you have that many, I mean, that's like just having 4 DNFs. It's bad. Your team is better than that. You need to be up there.
It was a poor run of form, as they
Yeah.
would say in Britain. Well, that was all I had about Abu Dhabi and this weekend as our final race review episode for the 2025 season. We'll have one more episode to release for the year 2025, and that will be our season in review episode. And the guys and I will go through our picks we made at the beginning of the season, maybe talk about just some surprises for better or worse this year, and talk about the end of an era. New regulations next year, plus a new team on the grid. We'll have lots to talk about in that season in review episode, probably coming up in a week or so. But until then, thank you very much for listening, and you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Adios.